10:30. Are we ready? All right. Good morning, October 17th. This is the District 21 Board of Commissioners regular meeting. I will call it to order at 10:30 and we will start the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call. I am Bruce Ansel.
John Crawford, Matt Rayburn.
Kimberly McMurray.
Jason Vanderveen, Fire Chief.
All right, and we will get to Commissioner Fisher here later in the agenda. He is excused. Any public comment? Volunteer Pension Board meeting, 10:31. I'll open that. We have the August 16th minutes. To start with, is there a motion to approve the minutes? Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Pension eligibility verification for Jeff Lagerway.
Yes.
We just need to approve the pension payment amount which comes from the pension fund. Is there a motion to approve the pension eligibility for Jeff? Am I saying it right? Lagerway?
Second.
Discussion. He was here.
He was a District 3 volunteer for 23 years, from 1985 to 2009.
So then, how does, from 2009 till now, is that what happens?
It just sits similar to if you retire, your 401k sits until you draw on it. So.
Till you're of age, the proper age, 65.
So it's an age eligibility before you can draw it.
Right.
Correct. Yep.
All right, very good, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, thank you. Any other volunteer pension board agenda items?
No, sir.
All right, I will adjourn the volunteer pension board meeting and open the regular board of commissioners meeting at 10:32. First order of business is the consent agenda, has the meeting minutes from September 19th, staff reports, financial reports, and vouchers. The revenues for September were $192,927.88. The expenditures were $1,049,153.61. Direct deposit payroll, $418,318.79. Payroll taxes, $100,222.73. Benefits, voucher, $258,965.92. L&I third quarter voucher, $119,724.04. Monthly expenditure voucher, $140,168.93. Capital projects, $5,611.04. Capital project apparatus, $6,142.16. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Discussion, comments. Chief, you said you had some thing to talk about.
Yes. I want to make you aware that I made a statement on Saturday that we were going to get away without transferring any funds from reserves to working capital throughout the year. That was misinformed. I shouldn't have made that statement. Turns out that the deposits that we made this month didn't catch it. The deposits that we made in October don't get credited in September, obviously. So there's a bulk of deposits, including District 4's $725,000 payment, then a couple other large checks that are sitting in the queue. So we do need to transfer money from reserve this month to make our bills. And then next month, we will untransfer or retransfer that money from working capital back to reserves. We did the same thing with District 4 at the end of quarter 2 for them to be able to make their payment. It is a sizable amount. It's $974,850.90. So it will be coming from reserves for 30 days. You'll see the transfer back next month. Just wanted to make you aware of that in order for us to, we can't float checks.
Right.
So,
Okay. Anything else? Any other comments, questions on the consent agenda?
there's two things I'd like to add to the my chief's report.
Okay.
One is I just sent an email to you and Commissioner McMurray, but we did get a formal letter from FEMA telling us that we were not successful with our AFG grant for 2023.
Okay.
So we did make it to the second round, which is promising,
Okay.
but it's not success.
Yeah.
I think that Commissioner McMurray's had some follow-up meetings and we've got some better, clearer direction on things we can do better to be ultimately successful. But I did want to let the board know that we did get a formal notification from FEMA. We did not get approved for our grant. The second piece is I attended a meeting after I wrote my chief's report. It was a meeting of the, it's called and refereed by the Office of Insurance Commissioner. And the participants were WSRB and Washington State Fire Chiefs. It was an interesting collection of fire chiefs. It included everyone from the Seattle Fire Chief, not one of his deputies, but the actual fire chief, all the way down to Okanagan County 13. And it appears that we are not the only district or department suffering from WSRB's
How they do this?
rating. And the chiefs came out pretty hard at WSRB. Mr. Robert Farrell, who's the kind of the CEO of the WSRB, was there and spent 99% of his time listening. It was very interesting to hear chiefs from others that have come from other states discuss how they're flabbergasted by the fact that they come from states where you have multiple class 1 fire departments, so the highest rated fire departments, and they come here to the state of Washington, and the only class 1 fire departments are those that are using an alternative grading schedule based on the Center for Public Safety Excellence, which you have to have an enormous staff to be able to meet those standards. There's not even very many class 2 WSRB departments in this state. And they said, these chiefs, mostly that came from class 1 fire departments in states such as New Mexico, Colorado, even California, some of the bigger Midwest states, were saying that that is indicative of the fact that WSRB's grading is out of whack, it's out of touch with what we do today in the fire service. The fact that you don't get full credits for even a paid engine staffed with anything less than 6 is ridiculous. So it was the start of a conversation. The Washington State Fire Chiefs is going to go full press on WSRB, and I believe we'll probably see some things at the legislative session. Hopefully, they'll talk about it at the ledge conference. But it appears that the chiefs are fed up, and some of the bigger and chiefs that have been around a long time. It sounds like the chiefs years ago proposed a graduated schedule based on distance from the station. So say instead of
Versus an all or nothing.
versus an all or nothing, where you can be a 6 on one side of the street and a 9 on the other. The chiefs had proposed years ago, maybe 20 years ago, that every 3 miles after that 5 mile mark, you go down one grade. And sounds like the WSRB's been working on it for about 20 years. So I think
They do realize we don't have horse-drawn.
well, that was actually the other interesting discussion from chiefs from other states, is that is that there's no consideration of rural versus suburban or even speed limits, that 5 miles at 50 miles an hour is different than 5 miles at 25 miles an hour. And so it's not a one size fits all, you know, and it's not just one size fits all, but it's one size doesn't actually fit anybody because it's screwing the whole, it's messing the whole thing up. So it was a very interesting meeting. I'll continue to attend them, and I'd like to be involved at the state chiefs level with, you know, bringing our story forward. It is interesting to hear the city of Bellingham just got re-rated, and they dropped the entire city dropped one rating class.
What
So
changed for them? Apparatus age?
training, actually, yeah. So
Wow.
anyway, just wanted to make you aware of those.
Did you say there were representatives from the insurance industry at all?
No, Office of Insurance Commissioner.
Okay.
The state Office of Insurance Commissioner was the referee of or the host, I guess was probably the appropriate word, but
And is it true that the WSRB is funded by the insurance industry?
doesn't say how they're funded. Exactly. It's a
I thought it
nonprofit.
was a non-profit,
It's funded by interested parties.
Right.
I don't know. They don't list the interested parties.
and the insurance industry is who uses this information primarily to set homeowners insurance rates.
Yes. Yep. There was one chief in the group that vehemently made accusations of racketeering
Wow.
and demanded that the Office of Insurance Commissioner investigate the WSRB and the insurance companies based on his evidence. Not a dumb chief, a smart, a very intelligent man.
Right.
He had his ducks in a row. So I don't know if he's going to give them time for action and then follow it up. But
Yeah, it is unfortunate, and I think, you know, apparatus age is another one of those. It doesn't, I mean, it's important to have new functioning, up-to-date apparatus, but you could have an engine that's 15 years old that may have never been used.
well, it sounds like that's changing.
Okay.
But there's not clear.
I mean, it's not mileage, it's not hours, it's
No.
just age.
Right. And you can opt for a different grading criteria. But it's kind of ambiguous what they want. They want records,
Oh, service records.
service records, but what service records, and, you know, what are they grading them against? Are they grading them against the NFPA standards for motorized apparatus? And that's another one of the chief's complaints is that use the NFPA. That's what we use. Use a common set of criteria, not what you and your board of directors or you and your subject matter experts come up with as the grading criteria. Use the NFPA. Use something that's, you know, that we can see and read as opposed to this moving target. So I'm looking more into the apparatus age piece because that could change some things for us.
But also the distance issue is.
But the distance
is
issue is a
huge,
huge
right?
one. Yep.
And we don't know how that was arbitrarily set at one point in time.
No.
That's how far the horses go before they need to be fed. Or,
Yes.
it's
And
just like,
I mean, if you're, you know, 5 miles in Seattle or in, you know, on the east side of Seattle is different than 5 miles, like I said, between Birch Bay and, you know, Custer.
well, and we had some customers who kind of made that argument, like, hey, look, I'm 2 blocks from the 5 miles.
Right.
What difference does it make?
District 4 had a citizen who wrote, and they are literally in that across the street scenario.
5 miles
from a 6 to a 9.
across the street.
Yep. Literally their neighbors across the street are a 6.
I'm assuming that was not a public meeting.
It was,
This one that you attended?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it was a public meeting or not. I could look back and see if they've got a recording of it.
Was the media interested in?
Well, I think one chief was pretty interested in contacting the media.
Well, I mean, there's obvious implications there, whether or not.
He warned them that they had time to act or he was going to contact.
Wow.
Wow. He was,
And you think, oh, well, you're saying that the state chiefs are bringing this to ledge,
yes,
are the fire commissioners?
hopefully.
Should probably find that
Sorry, Jenny, I just added a lot to your.
out. Anything else?
No, sir.
Thank you. That's really good info.
Yeah, well, it would be nice to have an updated and practical and logical grading mechanism. All right, so the consent agenda is before us. It's been discussed. Anyone else have comments on the consent agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Commissioner meeting reports. Anyone? Well, you were gone for council. I think the chief attended that. Did you have?
Well, Commissioner McMurray and I and the chief, I think, were all present for the all county meeting on the 2nd.
The commissioner, board of commissioners, or
Yeah.
the county commissioners.
Yeah, I left about 5 minutes before the end, and during that time, a decision was made to create a panel. So unfortunately, I don't have the information for it, and Commissioner McMurray will have the information for the panel.
So
Actually,
you got voted in because you left?
I got voted out.
Sorry.
Chief has the best information because he was on that committee.
Yes.
I guess you're.
So yes, on October 2nd or 3rd, there was a county commissioners meeting regarding the county consolidation study that's being conducted by Mission Critical Partners,
Right.
where we kind of reviewed those districts that had been interviewed, kind of went over the kickoff meeting, and then a couple of the districts that had been interviewed kind of discussed their experience. I talked about ours, where we kind of did instead of talking about our district operational, what we do as an operation, that we kind of did Fire District 101, that there seemed to be a lack of understanding about what fire commissioners, that boards are actually elected officials under the RCW, that you're independent of the county, that you don't report to the county, that we're independently audited by the state auditor's office. We spent our 90 minutes talking about those kind of things, showing them a map of the fire districts, and talking about where auto aid agreements already exist and some areas that districts are like districts are cooperating on. And that was all news to them. They had no idea about any of this. So they come from Pennsylvania, and it sounds like things are, I would say, extremely different. So we did not get to, I would say we got to none of our operational of how we function.
It did appear to be an educational process for the gentleman that interviewed us, which is good. I mean, I hope when he goes back to the county, he can articulate to them that the fire districts are under a board of commissioners control, not the county. And that the county maybe needs to stay in their lane with EMS, which I'm totally for. Hopefully he'll come up with some general thoughts and ideas, but there are a lot of smart people that run the fire districts in Whatcom County, and I think over time they've pretty much tried everything possible to run it cheaper, faster, smoother, better, and without the aid of funding mechanisms and lifting 1% at the state level, it's really getting difficult. So maybe the county wants to put in a bunch more money. That would solve the problem. What my take was from those meetings I went to, as far back as last December, were that we obviously aren't doing things economically correct. Otherwise, we wouldn't have any problems. So I'm curious to see how they do their math. Any other commissioner reports?
Well, I would just reiterate that I met with 2 other fire districts who have had a lot of success with grants and gleaning helpful information for us going forward, and that our grant committee met, and we each have an assignment, and we're going to meet again in November to discuss and keep moving forward to get those secured for our district.
Very good. Yeah, it sounds like there were some learning points from the last one. So, good.
Definitely.
All right. 106.
Morning.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
A couple things. We currently are interviewing, or in the interview process to hire the 4. We had speeds yesterday, then tomorrow is the last day of speeds. The other probies are approaching their 6 months, and they're all seeming to doing well right now. And then on the big local scope, 106 is looking at putting in a second vice president position. One would be for the county, one would be for the city. So then, just due to workload, and then more representation for the county. So that should be coming hopefully next year. It'll be voted on by the body probably December. So, and then we have the trick or treat on the berm, October 26th, 3 to 5. We'll be there again, handing out candy. So you guys are more welcome to come down and hang out, or come get some candy in your costumes.
Yeah, we're gonna do it with the department. We're just gonna set up together
With
with the department.
the local and the
You.
department. I'm going to be at a football.
Yeah, other than that, that's kind of all we got going on. And then obviously we had the planning meeting the other day, and that seemed to go pretty well. So trying to chug along.
And you know that we're going to have a budget meeting in November as well, which we certainly encourage you to attend.
Yeah, I will be on shift, but I'll attend via Zoom. I think I'll be there. So
Either here or we'll be here.
Very good. All right, unfinished business, Semiahmoo Station 62 quick claim deed. We had our presentation at the planning meeting, and it sounds like the direction was to write a letter to the city of Blaine that basically states that we're no longer utilizing that, or actually never did utilize it as a fire station, and ask if they want to reclaim it. Is that accurate? So, action requested. Do you want us to have a motion to direct you to get the letter written, and will legal assist with that?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
is that your understanding, Kimberly? That
Yes.
we were, okay. So let's have a motion to contact the city of Blaine about the quick claim deed, have a letter written with the assistance of our attorney. I guess that's a motion.
My only, if I may, my only recommendation for that letter, as I anticipate it will be fairly contentious, is to have in there, if the attorney thinks it's appropriate, the description of the financial challenges and the basis for the decision. So that way it's very transparent that it's not a right now this just happened problem, but something that's been developing for a significant amount of time, that as a fire district we've tried to rectify with no success. And because of that, this is where we are. And that's my thought. I'll leave it to my partners here to weigh in
No,
on that.
I think based on a letter we received from a concerned
Yes.
citizen, it's like this was a knee jerk, oh, he failed the levy. Now you're just mad and you're going to punish us. And we've been well, the first 2021, both of those levies were an effort to get that station up and running. And I know that we have looked at funding mechanisms above our existing service levels for years and just haven't had the funds to do that. So I think that's very appropriate.
None of us want to see the station go in a perfect world. But as we learn, this is far from perfect. And
Well,
it's out of
there is a
necessity.
contract that we're obliged to live by. I mean, and it says in there, if it's not being used as an active fire station, which we've tried, then we have to offer it back to them. Then it's up to them to decide if they
I think that's an excellent point, and that should be in the letter as well. You know, per contract, we have been unsuccessful being able to maintain this as a fire station. Therefore, by contract, we are now obligated to offer it back to the city.
All right, so motion, is there a second?
Second.
And seconded. Any further discussion? Kimberly, thoughts?
I agree with Matt. I don't want to get rid of it either, but it's just something we have to do. And as per the contract, we're not using it, so we got to offer it back.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Birch Bay Station 63. We have talked about tearing off the front of that. We have talked about obtaining a donated building office from Airlift for a potential DC quarters. And we have talked about looking at sort of mobile modular things. So where are
Nothing new since Saturday.
we? Okay.
Waiting for the digitized plans to come back from the digitized as-built to come back from RAM.
So they
They have
our info.
our info and they're getting them digitized so that they can be looked at to make 100%, what do you call it? Make sure it's structurally built the right way so that if we took the front off, that apparatus bay wall is going to stay there. And then those digitized plans will also go to the mobile modular places. Coach Corral and Mobile Modular, for them to be able to look at where things are and figure out setbacks, and then we can get the bid process started on a modular building.
And can we find out from the county if we were, I mean, what are our thoughts on the airlift building?
Your thoughts are my thoughts.
What are your thoughts on the airlift building?
I actually think it's not a bad idea. I want to walk through it. I want to see what we're
Right.
receiving.
Right.
But I think if it's in good condition, I think it makes sense to have a separate spot for the BCs, a separate meeting room for them. They won't be disruptive to the crews. The crews won't be disruptive to them. It gives some overflow capacity for bunk rooms if we have to, increase capacity to 63. No, I think it is a good option to look at.
Engine 61, A42, and engine 45. Respond to Bravo traffic incident at MBI 500 MT 274. Response fire 2.
Yeah, I think it gives us some overflow capacity. Fire Marshal Nielsen's out at a class this week, so when he gets back, I'll have him ask the permitting questions from the county. I don't want to get involved
Right.
in that. Because if we do figure out the pervious, impervious space type deal, you know,
Right.
if we put it in that location that we talked about, and then we'll get that ball rolling. But what we're waiting for from RAM is the digitized plans. So, and they're doing that as a favor to us. So
Sure.
we're not pushing them to get it. Not yet. So.
Yeah. Are we gonna look at more than one potential location for that structure?
I need to see this. I need to get the dimensions on the structure and see where else we could put it. And then also, I think that hearing from the county about, are we actually at the limit for pervious surfaces? You know, that will help us figure out where it could go on the property. You know, do we want to get site work done?
Right.
Do we want to put it in a, you know, do we want to get something leveled out and put in a different location? That kind of thing. So once we know the pervious surfaces and the actual dimensions, get some plans for this what Airlift's in right now, then we'll have a better idea of where it could go. So.
All right. Any other questions or comments about Station 63? Kimberly?
No.
No?
No.
All
Just,
right,
it'll be nice
so-
when we get some actual figures.
Right. So we're kind of, wait and see.
Well, and that, I guess that goes along with also waiting to get the interpretation of mitigation fees and what we can use those funds for. That will also be helpful in making the determination how do we pay for it?
Right. Well, I would hope that the fact that, we've added a BC position because of growth and call volume and the added responsibility that we have, that would qualify. But I'm not an attorney.
I went back and read the original mitigation. Jenny pulled up the original mitigation language for me.
Uh-huh.
And actually both of us went back and read it. And based on our vast legal experience, we certainly qualify. It also talks about renovation, improvements. It's not just growth.
Gotcha.
It does talk about, and additionally, it's in 2020, 63 was up in our capital facilities plan for a seismic upgrade and remodel, which
Okay.
never happened. So we're ticking a couple boxes here
Okay.
where it
And
appears that we're.
wasn't it the attorney that said go back to the mitigation language?
Yes.
And read it?
Yep.
And if it qualifies, then you're good.
I-
So that would meet the auditor's test, perhaps? Is that what we're trying?
That's what I believe. That's, as I read it, yes, it absolutely means.
Or the potential for a contractor to come back and say you didn't use it per the agreement.
Correct.
You want it back.
Yep.
And so do we have our attorney then determine that document is?
I think they would be maybe the final, and they're never going to say yay or nay. They're going to advise. But once I have their interpretation back, we'll put the language in a board packet, and then
We can all
the
argue
group,
over it.
the board can say, we feel comfortable that this is.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say, I think we qualify before I even read it, but that might not be fair.
It does sound it.
I
might have to excuse
I'm
myself.
extreme.
Yeah, there is something there.
Based on what I read, I'm extremely confident we're not going to have. We will meet the sniff test. So.
Good, all right. Anything on the tender?
Still haven't received our money back from
Oh,
True North yet, but I am meeting with Pierce on Wednesday, to Pierce Manufacturing, which has those demo tenders and more in the hopper. So I'll have a clearer picture
Okay.
What's actually
Is True North got any idea how long it takes to write a check or?
No, I'll email him when I get back to the office today. So
All right. Any other unfinished business? New business. Fire commissioner resignation. The end of correspondence. So unfortunately, Commissioner Fisher has submitted his letter of resignation dated September 24th. He has indicated that for medical reasons, he's unable to fulfill his duties as a fire commissioner, and between him and his position, they have respectfully resigned from the board. So, sorry and sad to see that happen. I certainly understand. I met with Commissioner Fisher a couple of times over this, and he enjoyed doing this work and will miss it, but understands that he's currently not capable of doing a full job. So I wish him well, wish him good health, and hopefully he'll be able to take more time to take care of this. With that, we need to go through the process of announcing a vacancy on the board. I believe we have 90 days to fill the position from the date of resignation, which, although in his letter he stated a date, according to our attorney, you can't sort of predate your resignation, so we go by the date of the letter, which is September 24th. So that gives us till the end of December, basically. How did we advertise that in the past?
We advertised it in the Linden Tribune, on the website, in the Northern Light, 2 weeks in a row. And it was open, I think, for 30 days. And then after that, you had a meeting, depending on how many commissioners will attend that meeting, to do interviews. And then you made a decision, and then you appointed him, and all that information was sent to the county.
Okay. Do we have to notify the county?
I did.
You did,
Yes.
that there is an open meeting
Yeah.
at this point. Okay. Are any of us interested in being on the interview panel if we have any candidates? You are? Okay.
I will.
Really? All right. All right. So we'll keep it to no more than 2 commissioners, then we don't have a quorum. And then who else would you suggest? Kimberly, do you remember who was on it last time?
It was Commissioner Crawford and Jenny and myself.
Okay. So, Jenny, you interested?
Sure.
Okay. All right. There you go. We have our interview panel. Hopefully we'll get some candidates. And maybe if anyone knows of anyone who they think might be a good candidate, to encourage them to apply. So this, just for clarity, will be, because it won't be filled until December, the first election it's a general election, right? So it would be November of 2025. So they would, and I believe Commissioner Fisher's term expired at the same point. So they're basically filling the end of that position. And
Which is November, no, it was really weird when I talked to them. It
Yeah.
was November 25th till 2025 to the end of the year.
Right.
So a short term and then a long term, which is a 6-year.
If they run,
Correct.
but as they're appointed, they would be appointed until the,
November 25th
Right.
of 2025.
right. But then there's that weird
Month.
gap that if you're elected, you're not elected until January 1. So
Yeah.
there's that.
That one, that's why there's
Yeah,
short
you have
term.
to be, you have to be re-sworn in.
Right.
that
Yeah.
month.
So
Appointed.
you either re-swear in the appointee
Correct.
or you leave it
Vacant.
open.
Yeah, we've been down this route.
Yeah.
District Four, so.
Okay. All right. Anyway. Did I beat that horse enough? Thank you.
Didn't want to confuse it.
All right, next is resolution 2024-08, basic life support increase. This is the table of what we charge for transport.
Yes.
And that was developed cooperatively through all the providers in Whatcom County. And so we're just asking to approve that increase, and I'm trying to find where it is. Thank you. All right, so this is resolution 2024-08, a resolution increasing fees for providing basic life support ambulance services by Whatcom County Fire Protection District 21. Basically, well, I'll just read. Whereas the Board of Fire Commissioners of Whatcom County are in agreement that the current fees for providing basic life support ambulance service are no longer sufficient to meet the increased operating cost for providing such service. And whereas the Board of Fire Commissioners of Fire Protection District 21 are in agreement that all agencies in the county are billing the same amount. And whereas the increase would be from $828 to $853. And resolved that this is adjusted annually, January 1, based on the previous 12-month average August CPI-U for the Seattle area. 2025 rate adjustment will be effective on January 1, 2025, and all future adjustments will be effective on January 1. Is there a motion to approve resolution 2024-08?
So,
Moved and seconded.
second.
Any other discussion, Chief?
The only other thing I would ask that you point out is that we will be using the August to August CPI-U rates going forward because of the reporting requirement of October 1st. In the past, county had used the October to October, but going forward, this resolution says that will be shifted to August CPI rates so that we can make that report October 1 reporting deadline each year.
Okay. Any other comments, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. We were given a copy of the chief's job description. This is in an effort to standardize all of our job descriptions, so how they're formatted, et cetera, and clarify some of the language and some of the grammar and et cetera, et cetera. So you got a strike through copy and you got a clean copy. Strike through copies. Are there any comments? This was to be reviewed and approved next meeting?
Approved at the next meeting. Just
Because there were more changes than just grammar and,
Is there a reason why we can't approve it now?
because it changes because of with the addition of BCs, it pulls me back. It takes out the duty officer component.
Right.
It says I still respond to fires and large emergencies you know,
No, but I mean, why do we have to wait? Is there gonna be any further changes? Does anyone else have any changes or comments or?
it's for you to, it's for the board to review and make comments if you would like.
Okay,
That's why we put,
fair enough. Thank you for everyone who reread, and reread this. I would ask that the board read it carefully, and if there are any additions, suggestions, or findings of grammatical needs to correct, that they forward those to Jenny, to Kelly for correction, addition. And if they're significant enough, we will need to discuss them at the next meeting. So that can go on agenda item for approval at the next meeting. Any other new business? Correspondence. So we have this BLS allocation. That number's different than what I thought we were due.
yes, it is.
And why is that?
It's because the Chiefs, there was,
I mean, it's in our favor.
it's in our favor. It's in our favor. It's in District 4's favor. What it does is that includes not just EMS calls, but it includes all different call types under EMS and rescue, the EMS and rescue category, which tends to favor the county districts over the city of Bellingham. Because we may not go on, you know, under the rescue disciplines, but we get called for rescues such as water rescues or, you know, adverse terrain type rescues. And especially in the eastern part of the county, those smaller districts do a lot of those kind of calls. And so the fire chiefs, there was 2 different ways to calculate everything. The Fire Chief Association met and voted that this way of including all of those types of calls, all EMS type of calls and rescue calls, was a fairer, a better distribution of the funds as opposed to just going off of BLS transport calls. So.
Right.
So that's how it came out.
Yes, of course. So the difference came out of Bellingham's pot, basically?
Yes.
Okay. Which they're getting the majority of it anyway, but that was nice of them.
And just so you know, their chief voted to include all types of calls.
Yeah.
He felt that was a fair
I'm sure he would.
distribution.
I'm not. Anyway, so that's about another $40,000 more for us than what was originally anticipated. So, all right. So we got a letter from a concerned citizen. I asked the chief to respond to that individual saying that he would forward the letter to the board. And you've all had an opportunity to read that now. I guess my question is, we probably owe this person a reply because in the letter, the first time said that he contacted us and got nothing, which I know that our staff went back and looked and we never found any record of an email that was alleged to have been sent. I'm not sure where it went. But then there's a lot of misinformation in this letter, in my opinion. So, do we reply? And I think we should reply. I'm just not sure exactly. I know how I want to reply, but that's one of those where you type it out and then you read it and then you crumple it up and you throw it in the garbage. But I'm curious what the rest of the board thinks would be most appropriate, and would be willing to entertain a couple of us or a couple of you to write a professional response back to this gentleman. Your thoughts. You especially, because
I'd
you're
be-
very thoughtful.
I'd be happy to write the response. I think it's perfectly acceptable to express publicly that we appreciate and understand his concerns and then outline succinctly the reasons why things have happened the way they have happened. It's not fear mongering, it's not threatening, as is insinuated in the letter. It's the fact of the matter right now. I think it can be done in a way that not just sells our service to the individual, but to Semiahmoo, who needs that reassurance that the fire district is not abandoning that area. It's doing what it has to out of necessity. And it's not any loss other than just the visible presence of a building with a logo. There's nothing else that's being lost. It's unfortunate. We don't want it. It is how it is. So I can draft a letter. Certainly be happy to do so.
Okay. Anyone else? Are you in line?
DPL. And there's a fire commissioner opening, put that in your letter.
I'll probably leave that out.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think I appreciate your offer to do that. I think if you draft it and then we circulate it to the other board members for input and review, it would be nice to be able to get this done sooner than later.
Yeah, no problem.
I know that because of his original complaint that we have been unresponsive to his complaints.
But we did reach back out, right?
I sent him,
We sent him an email reply that says that it was being forwarded to the board for review. So this is the first time we've met since the letter has come out, and so the direction I would like to say for the board would be to draft a letter, we'll review it, and then we'll send it off. Okay, does that sound reasonable to you, Chief?
yes, sir.
All right. November 21st is our next scheduled board meeting. Is everyone good for that?
Yes.
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 And while we're on it, the November 22nd work study session done on a weekday in an effort to keep our very busy staff from having to come in on a weekend. Does that work for Kimberly? Yes.
Yeah.
And that was like 9 to 1-ish.
Or 9 to noon, whatever.
This would be the budget study session, which we would see some preliminary budget numbers for approval at the November meeting, we have a public hearing on the November?
It'll be the levy hearing.
Oh,
where
that's for the
the
levy
tax
increase.
revenue.
Will we have preliminary numbers from the county at that point so that?
We always have.
Yeah, I know.
So,
We hope that we'll have some preliminary numbers.
we should, because they need them back. They need
In
those
November.
levy certification sheets back by the end of November.
Okay,
So
all right. What did you decide about the 22nd?
I'm sending an email right now to staff. Looks like I had a defense interview set for that day. I'm sending them a letter to cancel that. I put in for a V-Day.
Okay. So you think you're available then?
I should be.
the District 4 commissioners are all available and will plan to be here.
Okay. And then we invited labor. You're a maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Agenda items for next meeting. Hopefully we'll have a letter for the quick claim deed response. Maybe we'll have some more Station 63 information. Maybe we'll have some tender information.
Fire chief job description.
Fire chief job description, maybe some fire commissioner follow-up application. When were you intending to post that? Like,
Next week, or,
yeah, whatever, I mean,
yeah, that, as soon as I can. So
On
hopefully,
Monday.
so early next
we'll,
week?
we'll work on it Monday and then see how soon they can get it in, if they can get it in the next 2 weeks, or if we have to wait a week.
Okay, so we'll just get an update on that process at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Anything else? The budget, obviously, will be in there. All right. That looked like we got it all. Executive session, RCW 42.30.110 subsection G to evaluate the qualifications of an applicant for public employment or to review the performance of a public employee. This will include the fire chief and the board only, and 15?
10 minutes. I promise I have 2 short things. That's it.
We're gonna start with 10 minutes. It's 11:27, we'll take a short break, so let's say at 11:42, we'll be back.
I'm gonna call you off.
Okay. No action. 11:41. Did I say 42?
Yes.
So it's 11:42. We are reconvening after executive session. There's no action based on our executive session. We need to sign documents. I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Been moved. All in favor? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you. And
Enjoy yourself, Kimberly.
you'll have,